Hello everyone. This is going to be a small lecture on linear transformation, wherein we will be discussing some of the properties of null space and range of a linear transformation. So, having defined null space and the range of T in the previous class, we are now ready to state some of the important properties of null space and range of T. Before proceeding with this lecture, let us just recollect the definition of the null space or the kernel of the transformation and the range of the transformation. So, kernel for a given transformation from V to W, kernel or the null space is this set. It's a subset of V. We collect all the elements of V which are mapped to 0 in W. Okay, so since we know that 0 from V also mapped to 0, 0 belongs to kernel of T, and therefore 0, whatever may be the linear transformation, 0 is always an element of this kernel of T, 0 from V. Okay, and that's why the kernel of T, this set, is always non-empty. We have also defined the range of the linear transformation T from V to W. It's a collection of all the images point of V through this T. So it's a collection of all the element of the form T of X, where X is varying over V. So it's a subset of W. Okay, once again, this set is non-empty. It's denoted by R of T. It's non-empty because we know that uh, there is an element in V which has a image in W, that is 0. 0 maps to 0, and therefore T of 0 always, that is in fact 0 from W, that is always part of this R of T, and that's the reason this R of T is non-empty. Okay, so now we will discuss a couple of properties of this kernel of T and range of T in the form of theorem. So you are given, if you are given a linear transformation, then its kernel, which is a subset of V, is not just a subset; it's a subspace of. That's what we will be proving. Range of T, which is a subset of W, it's not just a subset; it's a subspace of W. So let's just recollect the definition of subspace. When do we say that W is a subspace of V? It should satisfy the three conditions. First of all, 0, which is a 0 element of V, should be in W. Second thing, it has to be closed with respect to addition. So x plus y should be in W for every x comma y in W. And third thing, you need to check for scalar multiplication. It has to be closed with respect to scalar multiplication also. So alpha into x belongs to W for every alpha in R and x in W. So if it satisfies all these three property and it's a subset of V, then we say that it's a subspace of V. Okay, so make a note that kernel is a subspace of the domain and range of T is a subspace of the codomain. So let's try to prove this. So the first one. So in the node itself we have seen that, okay, let me recollect the definition. Kernel of T is a collection of the elements of V which are maps to 0. Uh, Once again, I won't make the differences now. I won't you know say that this is 0 in W. One need to understand through the concept. Okay, so this is 0 in W because T of X is an element in W. So this is the set which we are talking about, and it's a subset of V. We need to show that it's a subspace. So first of all, 0 belongs to kernel of T. So that's the first property. So first, note that T of 0 is 0. This implies, since 0 goes to 0, This implies that this 0, by the way, this is 0 from V and this is 0 from W, belongs to kernel of T. Right? So 0 from B belongs to kernel of T. Okay. So next we need to check whether for any two elements in kernel of T, their sum also belongs to kernel of T. So second, let x comma y belongs to your W in this case is Q of T here, so kernel of T. By definition, what this basically means, this means that T of x and T of y both are 0. X and y mapped to 0, 0 in W. Okay. Well, so now you need to show that x plus y also belongs to kernel of T. That will be true provided Q of x plus y is also 0. So now let's check T of x plus y. Now since T is a linear transformation, by definition I can split this as T of x plus T of y. And you know that T of x is 0, T of y is also 0, sum of two 0 vectors is 0, and therefore now I can claim that I can say that x plus y is in kernel of T because x plus y also maps to 0. So we proved the second part. The third one we need to show is that uh, let me take any scalar and x is a point from K of T. So what I'll have to show is that alpha x belongs to kernel of T. So x belongs to, this immediately implies that T of x maps to 0. I mean x maps to 0. Right? So now I need to check for T of alpha x. T of alpha x by definition, by the second condition of linear transformation, this is same as alpha into T of x. But T of x is equal to 0, so therefore this is alpha into 0, 0 vector, and this by the properties of vector space, this is equal to 0. So this implies that alpha x also belongs to kernel of T. So this is how, with the simply with the help of the definition of subspaces and definition of kernel of T, we prove that K of T, that's a null space or the kernel space, is a subspace of B, not W. Okay. Okay. So now next thing I need to show that R of T is also a subspace of W because it's a subset of. Now this is a collection of the images of the points of V. So it has an element of this form T of x, where x is coming from V. This is a subset of W. So basically, whenever I say that an element belongs to R of T, it means that I am able to find a point in find a vector in V which maps to Y. Okay, so exactly the definition of range. So once again here also I'll have to show that 0 is in R of T, then R of T is closed with respect to addition and it's closed with respect to scalar multiplication. So first thing, the question is 0 belongs to, can we find at least one point in V which maps to 0? We know that 0 maps to 0. Okay, this is 0 in V, 0. With this immediately implies that, this, as there is a point in V that is 0 which maps to 0, this says that the 0, that is T of 0, is a point in R of T, right? Secondly, uh, I won't be using the notation x and y. Let me use y1 comma y2. So let me say y1 and y2 are the 2 points in R of t. I need to show that y1 plus y2 is also a point in R of t. So first of all, let's apply the definition of R of t. This means that there exists x1 comma x2 in V such that t of x1 is equal to y1. One will go to y1 and the other one will go to y2, right? So this is what we have. what you need to show that y1 plus y2 belongs to R of t. Basically, this means that you should be able to find a point in V which maps to y1 plus y2, and that should be clear from this star. X1 and x2 are the point in V. Now what do you expect from here? You know that t of x1 plus t of x2 will give me y1 plus y2, but is that a mapping of some point? You know that t of x1 plus t of x2 through the property, through the first condition of linear transformation, it is t of x1 plus x2, and that's why we see that x1 plus x2 is the point, is the required image point of this y1 plus y. I mean, it's a pre-image of this y1 plus y2. Okay, so note that t of x1 plus x2 is same as t of x1 plus t of x2 by the definition, which is same as y1 plus y2, and this x1 plus x2 is the point coming from P, right? That's enough, because so which means that we have succeeded in producing a point in P which maps to y1 plus y2. This says that this says that y1 plus y2 belongs to R of t. Okay, as we could find a point in V such that its image is y1 plus y2. So this says that R of t is closed with respect to addition. That's the second part. Third and the last one, we need to show that it is closed with respect to scalar multiplication also. So let's say alpha belongs to R, and let's say y belongs to R of t. Y belongs to R of t immediately implies that t of x is equal to y for some, either you can write it in this way, or you can say that there exists a point x in V such that its image is equal to y. So that's by the definition, okay, nothing else. So you want to show that alpha x belongs to R of t. That means I should be able to produce a point in V whose image says that the image of, sorry, I want to show that alpha y belongs to R of t. So that means you should be able to produce a point in V whose image is alpha y. Okay, and that's clear from here, since we know that t of x is equal to y, alpha into t of x is equal to y, but alpha into t of x is t into alpha x, t of alpha x. So alpha x is the required pre-image of y. Okay, so now you see that t of alpha x is same as alpha into t of x, which is same as alpha into y. That's it. And alpha x is the point coming from V, as x is coming from V and V is a vector space. Okay, so therefore we succeeded in producing a point in V whose image is alpha y. Therefore I can say that alpha y belongs to R of t. So using these 3 points, I can say that R of t is not just a subset of W, but it's a subspace of W. It's a subspace of W. I'm going to end up this video by one definition, okay, of so called as the nullity of T and the rank of T. Okay, now if V is a finite dimensional space, finite dimensional vector space, then and if we have a linear transformation from V to W, definitely any subset of V is going to be a finite dimensional. So kernel of T, since it's a any subspace of V is going to be a finite dimensional. Since kernel of T is a subspace of V, it's a finite dimensional. So we can talk about dimension of kernel of T. And now see, the range of T is determined by the number of elements of V. It's also going to be a finite dimensional space in W, even though W is infinite dimensional, even if W is infinite dimensional. Okay, so we don't require W to be a finite dimensional to talk about the dimension of R of T. It's enough to have V as a finite dimensional. So in that case, dimension of k of t and dimension of r of t are finite, and we use a special term for this two things. This is called as the nullity of t, and this dimension of r of t is called as the rank of t. Very very important terminologies, and they are denoted by these two notations, okay, respectively. uh, I'll end up this video here. We next have an important, very important theorem in linear transformation, which is called as rank nullity theorem, exhibiting the relation between the dimension of V and rank and nullity. Okay, so thank you for watching this video completely, and please comment your roll number in the comment section for the attendance purpose.